Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Professor Moultrie, and today I am going to walk you through part 2 of chapter 3, which is research methods. Your research method is one of the most critical chapters in your capstone or thesis. Whether you're using quantitative or mixed methods, I will guide you on what to include, how to structure it, and what not to do. So let's make it simple, clear, and correct. Chapter 3 answers one big question. How did you collect and analyze your data? Think of it as your research blueprint. It should be a well-written methods chapter that makes your work credible, replicable, and valid. So what are some of the things that you should include in chapter 3? First, start with your research design. Are you using quantitative, qualitative, or mixed method approach? For mixed methods, explain why you're combining approaches. Is it sequential? Is it concurrent? If your study uses a mixed method approach, explain why you are combining quantitative and qualitative methods. Now, this is crucial because mixed methods add complexity and should be justified. First, you would want to identify the specific design type. Number 1, sequential. Sequential is one method follows the other. An example is you conduct a quantitative survey first to identify trends, then follow up with qualitative interviews or archival data to explore those trends in depth. Number 2, concurrent. Concurrent is both methods are conducted simultaneously and they are given equal priority. An example of that is you would administer a survey while also conducting focus group interviews to gain different perspectives simultaneously. Number 3 is embedded. Now this means that one method is nested within the other. An example of embedded is an experiment is conducted, which is quantitative, and then you have interviews that are used to gain participants' experiences, and that's the qualitative part of it. For example, you could use, this study uses a sequential explanatory mixed method design, starting with survey data followed by interviews for a deeper understanding. Next, you want to state the rationale for your research design choice. For example, why did you choose this design? 2, how does it align with your research questions and objectives? 3, what strengths and limitations are associated with your design? The next section is population and sampling. Who are you studying and how did you choose them? So with population, you would want to think, who's the broader group? For example, accounting students, CFOs, or CMEs. And then you will have a sample from your population. That is, how many and how were they selected? Were they selected randomly, or did you use the stratified method? The other is purposive or purposive. That's where you state your inclusion and exclusion criteria. An example, a stratified random sample of 150 CFOs was selected from manufacturing firms listed on the National Stock Exchange. Next is your data collection methods. Now this section is crucial. It is crucial because it explains the specific tools and instruments you use to collect your data. And the goal is to provide enough detail so that another researcher could replicate your study. So let's break it down based on the type of research design. For mixed method research, you will use both quantitative and qualitative tools. And the key is to clearly explain how these tools are linked to provide a comprehensive view of the research problem. I want to give you some quantitative tools. Some of your quantitative tools are surveys. You could use databases, or even archival data. Here are some qualitative tools I'm going to list. A, interviews. Semi-structured or open-ended to explore participants' perspective in depth. B, focus groups. That's where you have group discussions to gain multiple viewpoints on a specific topic, such as the impact of financial literacy on decision-making. C is document analysis. That's where you're reviewing annual reports, meeting minutes, or policy documents for qualitative insights. You must explain what tools you use to gather data. And you must answer this question. What was it? Was it survey? Did you use questionnaires, databases like CompuStat or Bloomberg? Did you have interviews, etc.? Okay? And you want to mention the instrument validity and reliability. That's for the quantitative part of your research. And those are actually quantitative tools. For mixed methods, you want to explain how you link qualitative and quantitative data. And here's a very important tip. You must attach your survey or your questionnaire in the appendix section of your thesis or capstone. That should be at the very end of your final submission. Next is your data analysis techniques. Some of the things that you must consider is one, how did you process your data? How did you process your data? For quantitative, you must mention the software. For example, SPSS or Stata. And statistical tests such as regression or ANOVA. 2, you want to explain why those tests were appropriate. Number 3, for mixed method, you must describe how the qualitative themes support the numbers. For example, multiple linear regression was used to test the impact of internal controls on financial performance. That's just an example. The next section of your chapter 3 is the ethical considerations. Always address ethics. The first question you should think of is, did you get ethical clearance? How did you ensure confidentiality? How did you ensure consent and data security? And most importantly, let's discuss what not to do. So here are some common mistakes I want you to avoid. Number 1, don't skip justifications. I must repeat, don't skip justification. Always explain why you're choosing a method or a sample. Number 2, don't forget limitations. Every method has them. Address them honestly. Number 3, don't use vague terms. Be precise. Avoid some people. In other words, don't say some people or some accountants. You want to avoid those terms. Or you don't want to use like many companies or various industries. You don't want to use those terms. Number 4, don't change methods midway without explanation. Don't change methods midway without explanation. That means you may have to go back to chapter 1 and rewrite chapter 1. I'm just telling you. And number 5, don't copy-paste standard templates. Make sure it's tailored to your own research. And here are some final tips for excellence. Number 1, use headings and subheadings clearly. Keep them organized. Number 2, be transparent. Another researcher should be able to replicate your study from this chapter alone. Number 3, use past tense since the method was already conducted. I must repeat this. Use past tense when you're writing chapter 3 because you've already used the methods. Number 4, review the APA. Review APA or your thesis style may not be correct. In other words, review your APA guideline. Make sure your citations are correct according to the 6th or 7th edition. Make sure your references are aligned correctly according to the 6th or 7th edition. Remember the references. The first reference, you should have what they call a hanging indent. Okay? And the final section is the summary, and I want to give you some words of encouragement. Okay? But first of all, let's recap what you should include in chapter 3. 1, your research design. 2, sampling strategy. 3, data collection methods. 4, data analysis techniques. And 5, ethical considerations. You want to avoid vague descriptions and always justify your choices. Remember, this chapter shows the integrity of your research. So you want to make sure that you keep it clear, it's concise, but it's definitely grounded in logic. And I want you to know, you got this. You got this. You're almost there. So thank you for watching and best of luck writing chapter 3. If you need more support, of course, don't hesitate to ask questions or make your comments or leave your comments in the area below. Until next time, this is Dr. Moultrie.